some of the greatest devices in the world, some of the greatest new therapies were all born on this campus. 1,500 acres, completely densified with 21 hospitals, medical clinics, research buildings. Every piece of real estate is dedicated to advancing health, education, and research.
What do we have that Silicon Valley doesn't have? The Texas Medical Center. That's what's going to make this place succeed.
Welcome to the 2021 World Transplant Games 5K Anyway celebration. Today or tonight, depending on what part of the world you're tuning in from, we come together to not only celebrate every single way you accomplished your 5K, but we want to bring you a little bit of what we are missing by not being able to host the World Transplant Games here in Houston. So, instead of you, the world, not being able to come to us, we've decided to come to you. Today, with the help of NASA and Space Center Houston, we're going around the world anyway, any way we can, all to celebrate you, your efforts, and the transplant community. So many participants from so many countries, and we'll break those down a little bit later on in the show. But what has really been fun to see is all the different ways you all completed your 5K. Let's check them out. Wow, amazing. Congratulations to all of you. Who would have thought a 5K could be accomplished in so many different and creative ways? All right, it's time now to send it over to the CEO of the Harris County Houston Sports Authority, Miss Janice Burke, who throughout the show will be interacting with and hosting all of you at our virtual video wall.
Thanks, Patty. Yes, wow, what a week it has been. I don't think we could have ever dreamed of what would take place when we started to just toss out ideas. You know, we had bid for this event twice. It hadn't been in the United States for 41 years. We were so excited, and then the pandemic hit. Instead of being, desperately saddened by it, we all sat around and said, how can we make it happen anyway? And so it's actually kind of emotional for me today. I am here live. Yes, we are live. We can see many of you in the Zoom. Wave to us. Thank you. But to see that we had thousands of participants, 81% of them had never participated in a games before, whether world or national. 52 countries involved, 33 people who are currently on the wait list waiting for a transplant. That's never happened before. So it's been very inspiring for us, and it's just been a great way to kick off coming out of COVID. So thank you all. We couldn't have done it without you. Earlier this week, I was able to catch up with Chris Thomas, the president of the World Transplant Games Federation, and he shared with us this important message for those participating here today.
Of course, the most important message we can give to people who are waiting for a transplant is also to be, as much as possible, fit for life within their own means. We run these programs for a number of different reasons. To promote physical activity amongst transplant recipients, but also to encourage more people across the world to consider organ donation. And that's the legacy we can leave to the next generation of people waiting for a transplant.
That was a great message from Chris. who is actually joining us here live. I see Chris up there in the corner. Thank you so much for being here. I wasn't expecting you to be up at 1 a.m. there in Australia. Would you like to say a few words right now, Chris?
Oh, thanks, Janice. And look, thanks everybody for coming from across the world to get together for the 5K anyway. Look, big congratulations to the Houston Sports Authority for their commitment to this work and to this program. As you say, Janice, it would have been easier to say with the pandemic, it's all just too hard, but you've been able to interact with a community that we have never been able to reach, because the World Transplant Games occurs in one location, every 2 years. And so we've actually gone out into their backyards, their parks, their gardens, their communities, and interacted with so many people from across the world. And just all credit to you and your team, and the World Federation is so pleased that you pulled this off just absolutely stunningly. So yeah, really well done.
Thanks again, Chris, for being such a great partner and listening to all our wacky ideas as we just tried to make this as special as it could be. I'm actually amazed at how creative our participants were this year. Let's take a look at our most creative participation folks. Let's take a look right here. We've pointed them out. Everybody, let's give them a hand. They did a great job. And now I'd like to toss it back to Patty, who's over there in NASA.
Thank you, Janice. So I told you NASA was going to help take us around the world, and what better way to see the world than the only way to see the entire world at one time? A bird's eye view from the International Space Station. It was right here next door at Space Center Houston a few weeks ago that I had the chance to visit live from the International Space Station, astronauts Kate Rubins and Shannon Walker.
Hi, Patty. This is the International Space Station. We hear you loud and clear.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us on this today. It's just amazing. We have thousands of people from all over the world that have participated in our 5K Anyway race and are here tonight to join us for this 5K celebration. So you guys are amazing to do this. We are so excited to have you. Can you tell us, a little bit what it's like to just be up there for 6 months in space?
Yeah, it's amazing. It's incredibly beautiful to be in space. One of the things that's so striking is the view of our planet. And you'd think you get used to this. And just yesterday, I went to go close the shutters on some of our windows that face down towards Earth. And I went in intending to close them, and I stayed for about 60, 70 minutes doing almost a complete orbit of the planet because it was just so beautiful. There were thunderstorms over Africa and sunrise and sunset. So it just never gets old up here.
Well, as we mentioned, we're obviously here with thousands of people around the world celebrating transplantation, whether you're a donor, whether you're a recipient, and you guys up there with this DNA sequencing and potentially the ability to grow organs in space. Can you kind of talk a little bit about that? I was reading through some of the notes on just why it can be done and specifically how the gravity affects the research and what you're doing. But can you kind of give us a sense of what exactly is being done, the progress is being made, and kind of what you foresee hopefully in the near future?
Yeah, so we're pretty early in this. Some of the really interesting things we've done on this flight have been started to grow more complex tissues. So we're not quite at the organ level yet, but we did, for example, grow cardiomyocytes, which are the kind of cells that are in your heart. And we added some additional cells, so fibroblasts and endothelial cells, all the other kinds of cells that make up your heart tissue, and grew these together. These weren't heart size. These were very small plugs of tissue, but we could look at them in 3 dimensions without the force of gravity, and we could actually see them beating. So Shannon was around when we were doing this microscopy, and we could see these cells contracting. And we're doing things like DNA sequencing and gene expression on them as well. They've already returned to the planet.
Let me ask you this. You've won numerous awards for some of the different things you've done in group achievements and things like that. And obviously, this takes a team. Can you talk about how important the teamwork is up there in not just this, but really in everything you guys do?
I would say, that is just it. Teamwork is important in everything that we do, and just about everything in life, I would say. Very few things happen on your own. When we're up here, as Kate was saying, with her experiments that she's been conducting up here for the team on the ground, it takes a whole team of people. You can imagine how many people that we have to keep us healthy up here, to keep the station running. And it's not just the people at NASA. We've got team members all around the world because this is an international space station. And together we can get it all done. And Kate and I just happen to be the members of the team that are up here conducting all the research for the people on the ground.
So you guys have been up there for a while now, and by the time we show this to our participants, you guys will be back. What do you anticipate the first thing is that you're going to do when you get back?
Ooh. Kate says eat a salad. I think I'm with her on that. Eat a salad. Eat some fresh food that we don't have access to up here. I think also for me, take things a little bit slower. Our days up here are so incredibly busy, and so since it hopefully will still be springtime when we get home, I'm looking forward to sitting outside in the sunshine and just relaxing a little bit.
All right. Well, we are so grateful to have you on here. Again, all our participants, this was a real treat for them. I know it means a lot to them. They've worked very hard to accomplish what they've accomplished. So thank you both. And I don't know, is there anything you'd like to shout out to all the people that are watching you on this Zoom event today?
Oh, we just want to give our best wishes to everyone. What you're doing is incredible, and we really salute your efforts in everything that you do.
All right. Thank you both so much for joining us, and good luck. And we look forward to seeing you walking with nice, stern, steady legs back here on Earth real soon. Thank you. What a cool experience being able to talk to those two and having them share in this celebration. Now, as our trip around the world anyway continues, we can't possibly get to all the countries represented today, but we are going to hit a few of them and get there our way. With the help from our two correspondents, Gabby and Kennedy, we're going to get it started the good old-fashioned USA style.
That's right, Patty. Today we are here at Disney World's Epcot Center, where we are going to be doing our 5K today around the World Showcase here at Epcot. Now, the World Showcase represents 11 of the world's countries, and we're going to be hitting them up as we do our little 5K here today and give y'all a taste of culture around the world.
That's right. We're very excited to try all the different food and to show you guys what we have here. But before we do that, we got to share a little fun fact. We're starting here in the USA, and our fun fact for the US is that they have the largest team this year. Not only do they have the largest team, but it's the first time ever that all 50 states are participating in the games, including Puerto Rico. So we're super excited about that. That's a pretty awesome fact. And we are going to toss it back to Janice at the live studio to talk to some of them.
Thanks, Gabby. Yes, we're really excited because not only did we have thousands of participants, but for the first time, we had all 50 states here in the United States, and our team was, get this, 1,778 participants from the USA. Altogether, we had 331 teams participating this week, and before we talk to any of them, let's look at our largest teams. You can see here teams by country, and then individual teams. Congratulations to all of you. I'd like to talk to one of our large team members that it was Texas Heroes Living Bank that was formed by Kathleen Wood. And I can see that Kathleen is here visiting with us today. So Kathleen, would you come on and let's have a little chat.
Hi there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're so happy to be a part of this.
Great to have you. And tell us, how did you build your team so big?
Honestly, you know, this is a part of, I work with the Living Bank here in Houston, Texas, and which is all about education and advocacy for living donation. And I sent an email to friends and family members, and then also did a Facebook post and an Instagram post. And people just began supporting us, just like they have been this whole time. This is our son, William, who is a kidney recipient.
From the mom. And here's the donor.
He, we are just so thankful that we're able to continue to help him do so well, and then also to spread the word. So yeah, we ended up making some t-shirts that have the Wood team on it, and then the logo on the back. but we ended up sending out about 202 t-shirts to people who registered and donated. So we are blown away.
Totally amazing. I think you blew us away too. Thank you so much, Kathleen, for joining us. Obviously, we have teams of all different types, all different sizes that participated throughout the week. Some people participated in more than one team. But throughout the course of the show, we're going to be announcing several award winners, indicated by this sound. Every time you hear that sound, that's one of our award winners. We'll be recognizing a lot of people, but those that actually won awards. And, you know, every year the lapel pins are a big commodity. Everybody loves to trade the pins. It's a big deal. So we decided that the awards this year that would be going out throughout the world for those that win will be the lapel pins. So let's take a look right now at our fastest runners. Wow, there's a big list there. We'll leave that up for a minute so that everybody can see. We had a lot of participants in every category, every age group, donor families. They were split by donors, recipients, just like we do at the regular games. Now, we know we can't do any of this without our sponsors. Not only did Texas Medical Center come on right away, but Memorial Hermann became a sponsor of this celebration event. They wanted to make sure that we were able to celebrate. So let's hear a little word from our friends at Memorial Hermann.
Today's the day. Hands up here, please.
It's not enough to help him take his first step. It's not enough that she can hear her own voice. It's not enough to reduce her recovery time, deliver breakthrough therapies, or pioneer minimally invasive procedures.
Don't worry about it.
If the people we treat aren't treated as people.
Such a good job.
Good.
Yeah.
Memorial Hermann, advancing health, personalizing care.
More than 100,000 people in the U.S. are currently awaiting a life-saving transplant. We are so thankful to be able to work with amazing partners such as Memorial Hermann, whose staff, nurses, and doctors facilitate and contribute to these life-saving measures and everything that goes along with them. Now, one amazing patient with an amazing story is Sherman. Sherman spent 25 years on dialysis and, in his words, was given a new life.
I was young, you know, so I still wanted to have a life. So when I got on dialysis, I felt great. And so I put myself in the mindset of, this is what you're gonna do for the rest of your life. It was like getting an oil change, a second lease on life every time. You know, a chance to start over. And I missed out on a lot of things.
You know, his life was going to dialysis, and that was his only life, because you have no choice of what's going to happen.
January 2nd, 2 or 3 in the morning. They say come to the hospital, so we jumped up and got dressed, and there it was. I'm 100% happy, 100%. It's like you say, your new life, you know. There's no restrictions. I can eat what I want. Encourage me to drink water. Do you know how happy it was to sit down and drink 3-4 bottles of water in one day? I spend a lot of time with the family. I like to go sit with my friends, talk. I like to travel.
You know, without donation, no transplantation happens, whether it's live donation or cadaver donation. Without somebody willing to raise their hand and say, I'd like to donate my organs, either before they die or as a live donor, transplantation just would not happen.
And joining me now from Memorial Hermann Texas Medical Center, CEO Greg Harrelson. Greg, thank you so much for being here. And we obviously just watched that video on Sherman. What does it mean to you to see someone like Sherman, who has endured so much for so long, finally to receive that kidney, that gift of life, making everything that you do each and every day so worthwhile?
Well, it's truly heartwarming, to see a video like that, to see Sherman's story, and for our team to have been a part of that journey with him. But I can't imagine being on dialysis for 25 years and what that must have been like. So to be able to provide, our team to provide him the gift of life and to celebrate that with him is just it's why we do what we do. And it's a special part of being in this organization.
And everybody on this event today is celebrating transplantation, celebrating donors, celebrating what they've accomplished in this 5K anyway. You guys, Memorial Hermann, you're a leader in this field of transplantation. So you were a natural partner for this event. What does it mean to you to sort of see the results of your work here this week with all of these participants, not only, using their transplants, but also celebrating their lives as well as their donors?
It's just inspiring to see what people are doing with their organs, with those who give their lives, organ donation, and how it all pieces together and in that circle, and to see what people are able to do with that gift and have the opportunities to continue to live and live much better in many cases than they were before. So we're just so inspired to be part of that journey with them, and it truly validates so many things about the work that we do here. It's never easy, and our teams do a remarkable job. Dr. Biden and his amazing skill and the magic that he provides as a surgeon with the team, and how the medical team wraps their arms around these patients as well. And now to see them thriving, it's really special for us as an organization to be a part of.
Well, thank you so much. We couldn't have done it. They couldn't have done it without Memorial Hermann, Texas Medical Center, all of your help. So thank you so much for your support.
Well, thank you, Patty.
And now from the Texas Medical Center, who has been with us from the very beginning, the president and CEO, Bill McKeon. Just talk about you guys being a part of this from the beginning. You've been so invested in the Sports Authority, in this initiative, and just how important it was for you to step up and be a part of this event.
Transplant games and transplantation in and of itself has meant a lot to me. I had as a child, at 12 years old, I lost my father at 51 years of age. Now that was 1971. The first heart transplant in the United States happened only 3 years earlier. Transplant games have really meant a lot. And so by us coming together, even in these difficult times during the pandemic, it's a really special thing. And to actually, for those that have participated in this, to see families that have lost a child sadly early in life and transplanted organs or hearts or kidneys or tissue, to see those families there with the recipient I have to tell you, there's not a dry eye on the entire field of people coming together. It's one of the most special moments when you think about the ultimate sacrifice that you can give to another person in organ donation. So it's always been very special to me, to my family. And so we've been very active as the Texas Medical Center. We perform over 280,000 procedures here a year, treating over 10 million patients. We have many active transplant programs here. So this is a really special program to me and to our team and across the medical center. There's so much more demand than there is supply of organs. And so the more that we can do to raise the level of awareness here, to have more people participate, is not only our privilege, it's our duty.
And thank you so much, Bill. And we will get to our third CEO a little later on in the show. But for now, let's head out 8,000 miles and 2 oceans away to India. And even with that distance between us, the world feels a whole lot smaller when everyone is working together, fighting for the same cause.
My wife, Medha, had heart transplant, and she lived for 13 years after that. And this happened only because the donor was aware that if he donates his organ.
I think giving yourself at the end of the road, at the end of your time, is the biggest charity possible. There is no harm in saving somebody's life, somebody who has his or her entire life ahead.
I guess the bestest religion or the bestest ritual would be to save a life, and just take one step ahead. Just leave that fear or that superstition or that skepticism aside and just go ahead, donate your organs, save a few lives so that they can bless you and your loved ones around you. Go do it.
Thank you, India. You know, India has been an amazing partner, and they've been so active on social media. In fact, let's take a look at all of the teams that have been very active on social media. Team Spain, Team India, Team Iran. Wonderful job. Spain and India, of course, have been with us from the beginning, and they've been ramping up as we led into the games. But Iran came out of nowhere, and this week did a fabulous job. So congratulations on being recognized for that most special social media award. All right, joining me now from Memorial Hermann UT Health is Dr. Soma Jathula. Doctor, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate having you right here in person. We've all just come out of this pandemic that hit the whole world by surprise. And you know, that's the reason that we had to do this event virtually. And I know that the pandemic really probably caused havoc for you, being a lung doctor. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what that meant and kind of what happened from your perspective.
Boy, it's been a journey. I'm sure a lot of you people have been part of it too. So, as you know, it came into consciousness, I guess, as a physician myself, somewhere in early 2020 when we heard all this news about virus spreading in the world, and then it came to US, and then we had the lockdown. And as you know, as a pulmonologist myself and a critical care physician, then we started seeing these patients with severe pneumonias and admitted to the ICUs, and pretty high rates of not many survived. So around that time, then we started seeing patients who cleared their virus, but it has damaged their lungs so much that they're unable to leave the hospital anymore. It was a life-threatening situation. And we heard about a similar patient like that. I got a call from one of my colleagues, and they said, hey, this guy has been almost a couple of months now, cleared the virus, lungs are severely scarred, he has fibrosis. Can you do something about it? So that was a challenge. As you know, the other hat I have is a transplant pulmonologist. So we started evaluating the patient at UT Health and Memorial Hermann. It was a new thing for us. We all sat down and looked at it and said, what do we do? Such a unique situation. Only a couple of teams have done it in the world at that point of time. We went ahead and we performed a lung transplant on this guy. Now you can ask me, why did we do that? This guy was breathing pure oxygen. He's awake, talking to you, eating and drinking in the bed, but take his oxygen away, it dips into 40s, and as you know, that can be life-threatening. So we had no way to save this guy's life, and that's what we went ahead and did, and it was the first one in Texas. As you know, it was a learning experience for us too, at Memorial Hermann, doing on such a rare disease, and he did amazing after that. As a grandfather, as a father with kids, and you look him into the clinic, he's almost like 7 months out, and he's living a normal life with a normal lung function. And
that's amazing, amazing. So you keep in touch with him, and you know that he's doing well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all these patients are very special. As you know, transplantation is a very unique thing. And for me, I have to tell you, I find my inspiration to be a physician and as a person from the patients I meet. And this, all the guys who are online right now and participating in this, you guys are the real life heroes. I mean, obviously we keep in touch with them, and it's been a great learning journey for us.
Thank you, and thanks for driving down here to be with me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Oh, it sounds like we have another award. So every time we hear that sound, we're going to now take a look at our swimmers. There you can see all of our medalists from all of the categories. Lots of countries represented. It's really great to see. Now, let's check in. I see from the monitor that Gabby and Kennedy are making their way around Epcot, doing the 5K their way. Let's check in with them.
You caught us. Well, we are clearly eating our way around the world right now. We're in Japan.
Gabby, did you know that the last time the transplant games were hosted in Japan was exactly 20 years ago?
Wow, 20 years. Well, did you know that we have somebody from Japan participating for the first time ever with kendo? I'm not really sure what that is, but
I've actually heard of it. It's kind of like fencing, but with like wooden swords, and it's probably a little classier than I'm explaining it, but it's actually very cool.
And I'm sure it is classy and much more complicated than that. But we are going to continue eating here and work our way around the rest of the world and send it back to you, Patty.
Kendo, wow, impressive girls. All right, time now to introduce you to two NBA superstars who have made it happen both on the court and off. Sean Elliott was a first-round pick in the 1989 NBA draft. He was a two-time All-Star, a world champion with the San Antonio Spurs, and then, of course, Calvin Murphy. Now, Calvin's a Basketball Hall of Fame legend who played for the Houston Rockets and is now their color analyst. Guys, thank you so much for being with us today.
Well, I appreciate being here to tell the story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, let me make sure officially that everyone from around the world knows exactly who you two NBA legends are. Sean, it's, we just started this event last weekend, Memorial Day weekend, and it was 22 years ago. Let's go back and check out the Memorial Day miracle.
12 seconds left in regulation, and the Trailblazers still hanging on by 2. If you're a Trailblazer or Trailblazer fan, you've got to feel good about this. This is where you wanted to be. And now San Antonio is trying to survive with 12 seconds to go.
Duncan, Elliott, Robinson, and Kerr on the floor. Ellie will throw it in. Into Sean Elliott. He fires the 3.
Oh, San Antonio takes the lead. The 6th three-pointer today for Sean Elliott.
Oh, wow, a lot. There was a lot behind that shot, not just the actual shot, but the history of the Spurs and, countless times where we got close and we disciplined our fans and, we would let them down. We had the one year where we had the Houston Rockets and they had Akeem and we had beaten them 5 out of 6 times that year, and they beat us in the Western Conference Finals. We had the next year where we had the best record in the league, and the Utah Jazz beat us in the second round. So that shot, when I made that shot, it was more than just a three-pointer. I think at that time, when I made it, it made all of us believe that we were finally going to do it this year. We're finally going to get over the hump, and that's what I think about when I see that shot.
It definitely was amazing. And I think, there was also a lot more going on with you at the time from a health standpoint. It was shortly after that, but can you kind of tell everybody what was going on with your kidneys at that point?
Well, when I made that shot, actually, Patty, I think my creatinine was about 7.5 or 8. I was that year, I had gone to the doctor a few times because I was just not feeling well again. I played the previous 5 or 6 years or so with kidney disease, and my creatinine always hovered between 2.5 and 4, which was still really, really high. But then I started going to the doctor again beginning of that year because I just wasn't feeling myself, losing a lot of energy, very lethargic. I'd go home from practice and just, pretty much lay in bed or rest. So one of my friends, who was the team doctor, said, the miracle wasn't the shot. The miracle was that I was out there playing in the first place.
Mr. Basketball USA in 1996, an NBA All-Star with the Rockets, Basketball Hall of Famer. You're the current Rockets television analyst. And you got a little bit different story because it wasn't you, it's your daughter. And I want you to kind of talk a little bit about your daughter's story. And also, I think potentially, if I remember watching your Hall of Fame speech back in 1993, you built that entire thing around the word sacrifice. And I just kind of found it kind of fitting and ironic and potentially, the ultimate sacrifice that was made for your daughter, Tiffany.
I've been blessed that I have been healthy during my career time and through my life. But my oldest daughter, Tiffany, unfortunately, came down with some kind of weird sickness that weakened all her insides. And because of it, it affected her heart and her kidney the most, where she had to have this transplant. Now, understand something. She had to have a heart and kidney transplant to stay alive. And she had to have them done simultaneously. Now, not understanding a lot of the medical terminologies and things about it, I just knew what she went through trying to find a match for both her heart and her kidney, and then to have them done simultaneously in an 8-hour operation was amazing. You know, when you look at medical science and what they're doing right now, you never understand the significance of it until it affects you. Now, obviously, my daughter had this a year ago during the pandemic, which, you know, in itself was amazing because of, you know, they didn't have any idea about how you caught this virus and, you know, the things of nature that had to be done during this time. And for her to be able to come through this and still be with us right now is something that is still hard for me to understand. You know, I'm not going to get religious with you, but we do know that there's a God. And when you can get a heart and a kidney from two different people that match yours, and then be able to, you know, your body to accept it, and for you to still be going on right now is just beyond me to imagine.
All right. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you guys sharing your story. It's inspirational. I know everyone on here appreciates it as well. So thank you both.
Thank you. Good luck, Sean.
All right. Thanks, guys. You know, another NBA legend amongst the many celebrities who have and continue to support organ donation and transplantation is Dikembe Mutombo, who is no stranger to the healthcare industry. Dikembe has built a hospital in his native land, giving the people of the Congo access to healthcare.
Hello, I'm Dikembe Mutombo, the NBA Hall of Famer. This message to everyone who got a chance to have a transplant. I know how much it's been difficult for you going home every day, thinking about when are you going to have that phone call from the hospital to let you know that time have come for you to go and get a life changing. We thank all the doctors from the front line who are doing everything to make sure, regardless of the pandemic that we are going through, that the transplant continue to go through. We wish you the best. We continue to lift you up in our prayer. We continue to ask you be faithful and be courageous, that everything will work out after the transplant. Do not fear. Let the science do the work. Thank you. God bless.
Thanks so much, Dikembe. You've been a great friend to Houston. And of course, you made the finger wave famous. You are well known all around the world because of your generosity and the fundraising that you do to help those in Africa. Sounds like it's award time. So speaking of fundraising, let's check out who our individual fundraisers were. Look at that, USA swept. We do have Switzerland in there though. Good job, everybody, and congratulations. Fundraising is an important part of what we do to get the message out. Well, at this time, it looks like we finally have our wall up. So we had trouble getting everybody up because not everyone had their cameras on. So we were trying to work that out. But how fun to see. You guys wave so you can see yourselves. And Liz, I got to point you out. What's with the bunny ears? That's hilarious. Wave to everybody. Very fun to see all of you. It's great here in the studio. I hope you're having fun. I hope you're using the chat box. Now, it looks like Gabby and Kennedy have made their way over to Europe. So let's see how it's going there at Epcot.
I'm here in Germany and I lost Kennedy. I'm not sure where she's hanging out around here, but this is a very colorful and beautiful country that we're here in Epcot. It's so impressive to look at, but what might be more impressive is that Germany holds 22 World Transplant Game records. That is incredible. Well, hey, I'm back. I got us some food, some beer. Okay, what do we have here? Let's bring out this pretzel and get to eating. Oh my gosh, I may have already started on mine. These are huge. And on that note, this is gonna take me a while, so Patty, we're gonna head back to you. You can wash it down with your beer.
Yes, it would be nice to have a beer here right about now, but if you two keep it up, you're going to have a hard time finishing up that 5K. All right, well, none of us would be here tonight right now, and this wouldn't be possible without the support of our presenting sponsor of this show, Memorial Hermann. Joining me now, the CEO of Children's Memorial Hermann, Marissa Kiefer. Marissa. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting, and I want to talk, you guys have seen firsthand what these teddy bears that are going around the world and being distributed to kids, you see it firsthand what it means to a child. Can you talk a little bit about some of what you've seen in some of those experiences?
Absolutely. When the kids get these teddy bears, it's truly amazing to see their faces light up and feel the support that they have and that they know that they have from around the world overall. And it's just truly heartwarming to know that people from across the world are coming together to be able to provide these bears to these kids in our hospital that have gone through a transplant or are awaiting a transplant.
And I think not only for the kids, it means something, but also the parents. I've spoken to many of them myself, and they feel like, there's people out there that care. They're in there, and especially during this time of isolation during COVID and all of this, you kind of block everything else out. But to be able to know that there's other people out there that are kind of in it with them and a support system. Have you noticed that as well?
Absolutely. When you are a parent with a sick child going through an illness, you feel like you are completely alone and you feel like there's no one else out there that is pulling for you or that you're just on this road all alone. And so being able to have these bears come and know that there's these people across the world, either in Houston or completely across the world, to know that they're there for these families and these parents where they feel like they're so isolated, even in COVID, but during having a sick child in general can be a very isolating event. And so this really makes sure that parents and families know that they're supported.
Marissa, we're obviously talking about Children's Memorial Hermann. When you put the word children's before it, we all know what that means, but that it's a totally separate hospital for Memorial Hermann. Can you kind of tell us what sets that apart and what makes it so different?
Children's Memorial Hermann is an important designation because not only do we take care of children, we also take care of their families. And so while we have this amazing transplant program and serve patients here in Houston, we also have patients from across the world that we're able to provide life-sustaining treatment for through our transplant program. And so being a pediatric hospital within a large adult health system, we are able to provide that care for the patients, for our smallest of patients.
Thank you, Marissa. Hundreds of bears have been delivered all over the world, and one very special bear went out to a 4-year-old in the UK named Kit, who is currently awaiting a heart transplant.
Kit is 4 going on 14. He's very adventurous, very forward thinking. He's very intelligent. He's just the coolest 4-year-old you'd ever meet, really. He was fighting and wrestling his brother like every other 4-year-old does, and then a few days later he's in one hospital and they're like, we can't do anything with him, we need to transfer him to this hospital, and we get transferred to another hospital, and then we end up here at Newcastle Freeman Hospital in the space of like 4 or 5 days, and couple of days later he's on a Berlin heart. It was scary, but I'm so thankful we're here.
So what does it mean to you as a dad? I mean, obviously Kit loves the bear, and that's, he's keeping it very simple, but you as a dad, obviously very difficult with your son going through that, but to have a bear like that, and not just the bear, but what it means people out there that are supporting you and being there and kind of in the fight with you, trying to be there for Kit.
Yeah, it makes you think, just you're not alone. Obviously he's not the only one going through this, but the fact that it's come all the way from Texas, there's someone, we're here in the UK and they know about Kit in Texas, so we know he now knows he's not alone. And myself and my wife Hannah, it's just the whole transplant community is just amazing. yeah, it's given us that extra spark.
Wow, what an incredible story. And it's always amazing when a bear finds a home. Hello? Kennedy, where are you? Okay, I'll be right there. Gabby, you missed it. I've been walking around and I made a friend from Britain and her name is Vicky. Hey Vicky, how's it going? Good, how are you? I'm doing pretty well. So we are here talking about the transplant games. What do you know about the transplant games?
So I don't know too much, but I know that the UK have hosted 4, which is the most out of everyone. And I believe the original ones were in 78 and 79.
I think you're correct. Wow, how impressive and how awesome that we finally ran into someone from the country that we're in. That is a first here at Epcot, so we're pretty excited about that. Back to you, Patty.
And if you haven't had the opportunity to unlock a bear or would like to send additional bears to children still on the wait list, you can purchase one of these bears from our online store at WTG2021.com for just $25. Oh, I guess it's time for some more awards. Janice?
Yes, it's time for another award, and this time we're going to look at our cyclists. Wow, we had a lot of people cycling. Just take a look at all of the countries represented. It makes me proud. Now, it's so fun that we finally got everybody to turn their cameras on, and I see Lynn from the UK. Lynn, what'd you think of that story? Pretty neat, huh, with Kit? That really was because of your efforts and you helping us get in touch with that family. So thank you for everything you've done. Jacqueline, I see the unicorn. That's pretty neat. It's great to just be able to be live here with all of you. Now, let's take a look. We had some teddy bear trendsetters, and we'd like to show you those teams that unlocked the most teddy bears. Altogether, we have unlocked over 500 teddy bears, and we're still going. Every day we get different organizations reaching out to us saying, how can we get involved? We know that the 5K is over, but we want to still unlock teddy bears. And so these teddy bears are going to be going out for weeks to come, and we will keep posting on the website. In addition to Memorial Hermann, who's our sponsor for this celebration, we have Texas Medical Center. We have to keep mentioning them because, again, they were the supporters, they were the visionaries. We all know we can't do this without our supporters. Each of them have unlocked hundreds of bears as well. So thank you.
So today for show and tell, I brought in me. When I was a baby in my mommy's tummy, they found something wrong with my heart. It wasn't working right. But soon after I was born, the doctors and nurses fixed it.
Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital's congenital heart surgery outcomes are among the top in North America.
They made my heart whole and strong. And now it works just like yours.
Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital, advancing health, personalizing care.
Welcome back, guys. We are here in Italy at the Trevi Fountain. We are taking a short little break from eating our way around the world. And we picked up a little bit of vino, and we're getting ready to make a wish. Yes, and speaking of wishes, we've got Tex the bear here. And he had a little transplant in his making. He got a little heart put in him. And the fun fact about the heart is every time a heart gets put inside one of these bears, somebody makes a wish. Patty, do you have a wish for us in the studio?
In fact, I do have a wish, Kennedy. I just found out that my brother has 2 failing kidneys. He's just now about to go on the waiting list for a new kidney, so my wish is for my brother, Kenny.
What a great wish, Patty. This one's for you, Kenny, and all the people out there waiting for a transplant. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Mwah. Thank you both for that wish. Here's keeping our fingers crossed. All right, that's going to do it for me for now here from Space Center Houston, but I'm about to take off and go meet with a very special guest to do the handoff. But Janice, in the meantime, I'm going to hand it off to you because I know you have a very special guest of your own.
I do, that's right, Patty. And as you travel to meet our special guest on that end, I have a special guest here. I'm here with Dwayne Delane, and as we gather here this week for this great celebration, and we celebrate all that's happened and the country, all the countries coming together, I think it would be we would be remiss if we did not remember those who have passed on since the last games, as well as take a moment to honor all of the donors. Let's face it, without the donors, we wouldn't be here. So their kindness, generosity, and selflessness is what is really why we're here and able to celebrate life. And I know you have a special song about this, so I'm going to let you take it from here.
Okay, great. This song I'm about to sing is about a transplant patient's journey. Was written after hearing many inspiring stories that I've heard over the years from recipients, donors, and donor families. And I've always said that if everyone had the spirit of a transplant patient, the world would have no problems. This is called Someone Came to Help Me. It's getting harder to breathe. I can't walk anymore. It's getting harder to see life beyond this painful door. Sorrow builds inside of me. Then the phone rings. A voice on the other end says it's time to fix you up again. 'Cause just before the lights went out and the sun refused to shine and the storm blew me away, someone came to help me. Someone came to help me. A young man driving home to see his mom before the late show. As the rain came down, as the rain came down, just before the lights went out, sun refused to shine and the storm blew me away. Someone came to help me. Someone came to help me. As I drift, I dream of a new life, a new way, a new day, a new time. Ooh, ooh. As I open my eyes, the sun begins to rise. Put my feet on the floor and smile at what I have in store. But first I want to thank you, my friend, for giving me your life. I'll see you around someday, and I'll take you out for the night. 'Cause just before the lights went out, yeah, and the sun refused to shine, and the storm blew me away. Someone came to help in my darkest hour. Someone came to help in my deepest despair. Someone came to help when it all seemed over. Someone came to help. I always knew you'd be there. Halle, hallelujah. Halle, hallelujah. Halle, hallelujah. You came to help me.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? We're all crying here in the studio, and I see Trisha, I know you don't have a dry eye. And I also see up there on the board, Lisa. Lisa, thank you for being a donor family.
They're all amazing.
They're all amazing. So thank you for that song. You wrote a beautiful song, and it gave us a good chance to do a tribute. One of the reasons that we wanted to raise money is, again, to help build awareness, to help our youth programming, and you can't do it without dollars. And I'm really proud, together, collectively, we're gonna be able to give a check to the International Federation for $45,992 because of your generosity. And that was really people giving $1 here and $5 there, and we want to make that $50,000 before it's all over, so I hope that you'll go online and let's get it up to $50,000. But Chris, I do hope that it helps further your cause, and thank you for letting us be a part of it. And now we'd like to look at the teams that raised the most amount of money, our fundraisers. Everybody give them a hand. They did a great job, and we raised a lot of money together. We also had some people competing in some very colorful outfits this week that made it fun on social media. Do you know we went well over 5 million impressions? And those impressions help spread the message and help us celebrate life. And so let's look at the Best Dressed Awards. Good job, guys. It's so awesome to see how everybody went all out and went above and beyond with their participation. Speaking of participation, Team Spain, who's been a big part of the games this year, has participated in every World Transplant Summer Games since 1993. They hosted their first games in 2017, and they hold the attendance record for the largest in-person transplant games. We were hoping to come close to those numbers with our virtual event, and while they're two very different scenarios, we are proud to say we superseded that number of participants virtually. And if you count in the fundraisers who participated, we had over 4,000 people come together for this great cause. Now, before we do the send-off, let's head out to Epcot one last time to see if those two finish their 5K.
Bonjour, we've made it to France. I am stuffed, I am tired. Please tell me we made this 5K finish.
Yes, we have more than completed our 5K, so cheers to that. And we just wanted to congratulate everyone who participated in the 5K your own way. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves eating our way around the world, and we are stuffed and we're tired and we are ready to wrap this thing up. So congratulations to all of you.
It's new, we made it up, but hey, everything's made up this year. It's sponsored by Texas Medical Center, and we're calling it the Heart Award. We wanted to look at individuals who really took on the spirit of what the games is all about, who really put their heart and soul into it. So first, we'll start with our runners-up. We have two. One is a 92-year-old man who broke his vertebrae a couple of weeks ago, but decided to compete anyway because his daughter was a recipient. We also have Liz Schick, who, Liz, I think we pointed you out earlier. There you are. in the bunny ears, Liz rode up a mountain 4,000 meters uphill every single day in Switzerland and raised a little over $40,000 for her cause. She works with a charity there in Switzerland to help children. So Liz, great job. But there's one little guy that just stole our hearts. He really embodies everything that this games is about. We sent him a teddy bear. He's 4 years old. His name is Kit. And he loved that teddy bear so much that he formed his own team. And every day he would take little increments and he would walk down the hallways of the hospital. And he, from his team, was able to unlock bears and give them in person to other children right there in the hospital ward. Kit is our poster child. He embodies everything that we could have hoped for with this event. So congratulations, Kit, for winning the Heart Award. Well, that's going to do it for us. I'm going to have to say goodbye here in the studio. I'm sorry it took us a while to get you all up, but it is great to see all of you. Thank you so much. I will see you at the next games. And now let's toss it to Patty for some final words.
All right, thank you so much, Janice. Yes, I told you I was heading out to meet with a very special guest. So here I am downtown Houston at Minute Maid Park, home of the Houston Astros, with none other than the legend, one of the greatest Houston Astros of all time, Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell. For this, I need to put on my baseball hat, Jeff. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us in this Around the World Anyway celebration. People from all over the world are here to celebrate their accomplishments. And you told us early on that you wanted to be a part of this because transplantation hits very near and dear to your heart and means a lot to you, doesn't it?
It does. About 3.5 years ago, I found out my best friend had liver disease. And obviously when you hear that, you kind of freak out. And then it was, obviously he had to get a transplant and be put on a list. And anybody that's been through that knows it's quite a trying time because you feel terrible, but you're still a long way away from getting a transplant. So to go through that process with him and the ups and downs, the emotions that happen throughout that, it really is a trying time because, you think about the person that looking for a transplant. I mean, you're staring death in the face every single day, and it's frightening. So to go through the process and finally to get a liver has just been an amazing journey, a scary journey, but good things happen. And we were fortunate enough to get one, and he's doing fine so far.
And I think he probably saw, and you did, and everyone involved, that it's really an equation because as scary as it is for the person receiving it, it takes the other side as well. It takes donors. And I know that through being a part of this process, you and anybody who goes through this has I mean, you can't even say how big of an appreciation for these donors and their families.
Oh, it's unbelievable. God's grace gave him a liver to obviously a gentleman that lost his life, that fit the body size and to have a liver transplant. And, I pray for that family every night because, in order for my friend to get a liver, they had to lose someone they love. So it's a dramatic, time in somebody's life, both the transplanter and the transplantee that, somebody had to die for it.
All right, so I'm glad he's doing well. Thank you so much for sharing that story with us. But the other reason I wanted Jeff here is because Jeff is not only, like I said, one of the greatest Houston Astros of all time, but he is the home run king here in Houston. No one can hit a ball further. And traditionally at the end of a transplant games at the celebration, there's always a passing of the flag. Well, since we can't pass the flag this year, Jeff is going to help us virtually pass the ball to the upcoming host city, and that is in Perth, Australia. You ready to hit us a moonshot?
Yeah, that's a long way, but we'll give it a shot.
All right, let's see what you got.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Houston. Mission accomplished.
Great job, Perth. We can't wait to see what you guys do here in 2023. All right, that's going to do it for us here at the World Transplant Games Around the World Anyway celebration. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We hope you had as much fun as we did. Congratulations to everyone who participated, and we leave you now with a look at what's to come in 2023.
We know the effort in every step, the gratitude in every breath, the hope in each new day. We have endured the toughest of challenges. We have faced the end. But from the selfless act of another, we have been given the greatest gift of all, a new beginning. Now, more than ever, we will treasure the time when the world unites again, in the spirit of friendship and in competition, to celebrate the gift of life. And we know just the place. A place with pristine oceans, endless blue skies, warm hospitality, friendly wildlife, and natural beauty. In a land of ancient culture, fringed by white sandy beaches, discover the city of Perth, where your adventure awaits. Join us in Perth, Western Australia, at the 2023 World Transplant Games. Live for the good times and create memories that will last a lifetime. See you in Perth, 2023.